no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough.
Welcome to the first edition of Coaster's Corner. We're doing a quick running back review with one of our main content providers, Kenny McDonald, Crane, whatever you want to call him. He'll be here often, so get to know him. Kenny, say hello to everyone. It's going to be a long season, 2018. It's finally starting to look like the Cleveland Browns won't be horrible. They're still going to be pretty bad, but I don't know about the word horrible. Anyway, today we're going to be doing ADP run-through of your running backs. I know most of you have done your drafts already, but we're still just going to give you our review of where you think everyone should be going to win your fantasy pool this year. So, first topic, tier number one, Evident, the two-headed monster. Kenny, which one do you have going first?
I'm taking David Johnson every day, all day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Every draft I do, I'm taking David Johnson.
Here's the thing. Most people go, yeah, no questions. That's the choice. David Johnson's 30 touches a game. Do we not forget he plays in Arizona? Like, he's not playing on a winning team.
Exactly. That's why you take him. Carson Palmer's aging, Larry Fitzgerald's aging. That's why you take him. He's not playing on a winning team. They got to lead on their guy. Their guy's David Johnson. You just said it yourself. He's going to get 30 touches a game.
But Le'Veon Bell, you watch highlights of this guy play. He is no doubt the most skilled player in the NFL, if you ask me, between that patience behind he has the line every down, just waits for things to break down, hits that hole. Not to mention, he played how many less games than David Johnson last year and almost caught him? I'm just saying, healthy Martavis Bryant coming back, finally got off the dope. Took you long enough, Martavis, but I'm leaning Bell number one.
But you're going to tell me that the Steelers are going to have the number one running back and one of the number one receivers, too, at the same time?
Yeah, that's a good point. I can't really back that one down. Okay, so tier two, possibly the most important parts of your draft. I'm not going to lie. I think drafts will be won and lost in these next two tiers. So this first one, it's got about 5 to 6, depending how many you like. LaShawn McCoy, Devontae Freeman, Melvin Gordon, DeMarco Murray, Jay Ajayi, Jordan Howard, and you have to put him there now, Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, that's right with Elliott. I mean, the suspension might be appealed. So I mean, if he ends up playing week 1, week 2, then he's your guy. He should be up there with Johnson and Bell. But yeah, you know, Mr. Goodell is ruining that for all of us. But in that group, I'm taking McCoy.
No doubt, eh? McCoy seems to be that lead back out of that group. The thing is, just something doesn't seem right in Buffalo. There's already a quarterback problem. Tyrod Taylor, you're great on Madden. I love you. You're a running quarterback. You got great speed, but you're just, I don't know if you're ready to be that starter, even though you already got some years under your belt. It will be the McCoy show, but will we see some glimpses of defenses applying that? So, I'm going to have to agree with you. There's really no one else I can put there because the next person I have after that's Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon, to me, had a great comeback year from that rookie year. Oh, yeah, was that scary. But I think he's got great potential to be an every down back because only Oliver's there. He's still got how many touchdowns last year? 12 touchdowns. Like, that's going to be tough to match. But the touches will be there. So is Gordon your number 2?
Yeah, Gordon's my number 2, especially with Woodhead gone. Woodhead's gone over to the Ravens, so he should be getting even more targets than he got last year. I mean, what was it? Majority of the season last season, he was the number 1 back, and he saw an insane amount of opportunities in that span. So he should be seeing those same opportunities throughout the season.
Yeah, and then I'm probably going to be passing the mic to you on this one because I think we both agree on number 3 is I hate putting him here because they got a split backfield, but the skill, the team, the opportunities is too much, and that's Mr. Freeman. Is this your number 3 guy?
Yeah. Freeman
Shocker.
just signed a huge contract. I mean, you're not going to sign that contract, highest paid running back in the NFL. You're not going to go out there and then not and split carries with Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman's a great back, but I think he's going to be trade bait pretty soon. I mean, the amount of targets the amount of carries that Freeman gets in that backfield with a back as talented as Tevin Coleman, he's working for every one of those, and he's going to still have to this year, especially with the contract. But yeah, as I mentioned, I don't think he's going to see any loss in carries. If anything, Tevin's going to see a loss in carries, as I think the Falcons are going to kind of transition him to trade bait.
Yeah, he is pretty good trade bait. Like, do you remember that time, I don't know, 2 years ago when Coleman was supposed to be the lead back in Atlanta and Freeman was the number 2 guy, but one injury later, this is what opportunity does in the NFL, folks. So anyway, this is where things get bumpy and quick for me. I think there's no doubt in that 6 we just mentioned. They should be your number 6. They should be a top 6 in every draft. I don't care if you have an opposing view. It's ludicrous in my opinion, because from here you got Murray, Ajayi, and Howard. So you got a guy that's got probably the best tandem with Derrick Henry right behind him. You got Jay Ajayi, who is the poster boy. Oh, wait, who am I kidding? He's got the twin brother for the poster boy of Todd Gurley of the Year and Jordan Howard. They got both elite offensive lines in front of them, but the passing game, So, Kenny, tell me who you got number 4 between Murray, Ajayi, Howard.
That's going to be Ajayi. I mean, Jay Cutler is your quarterback. What else are you going to do?
Someone have a dart, by the way?
What else are you going to do? The guy can't throw the ball. He can't find an open receiver. He's going to throw picks. They're not going to want to throw the ball with Jay Cutler. They're just going to want to delay as much as they can until they can get Tannehill back. And Ajayi is the guy to get them that way. That offense was looking pretty good in the preseason until the whole Cutler situation. So I think they're really going to lean on Ajayi this season.
I'm going to put Ajayi behind Howard, and let me tell you why. Howard, to me, could have the most amount of touches in the NFL by the end of the year, other than David Johnson. We got Mike Glennon, who's most likely starting, sadly. God bless Mitchell Trubisky. I hope he starts quick. But anyway, he proved that he is a workhorse back. He didn't start those first couple games. He was got 250 runs and 50 targets. 50 targets as a rookie. Those numbers are only going to go up. They have a top 5, finally healthy offensive line. And like you were talking about bad passing situations, dear God, who's going to catch the ball? Kendall Wright? I don't think it's going to be Kevin White. Congratulations, you got picked 4th overall, but that might be your biggest life accomplishment. Hate to say it. So I'm going to go Howard, Ajayi, and then DeMarco just because there's no way he can match 293 rushing attempts. There's no way. We got Derrick Henry, a sophomore now, who is hungry, scored, 5+ touchdowns as a secondary back. That offensive line did get better, but there's also more weapons offensively for Mariota to target. They jump up to get Davis, and then they go, you know what? I'll get a 1 touchdown for every 2 games of receiver in Eric Decker. So, yeah, I'm seeing Murray's numbers go down. Therefore, I'm going to slide him in right behind here.
Yeah, I think with Murray, they're looking for an excuse to get him as the number 2 back. He didn't really have a terrible game at all last year, and that's the reason he's still the number 1 back. But right now, just as soon as he has one bad game, Derrick Henry gets up there, he's going to take advantage of it. So that's why I'm scared about Murray there.
Yeah, and forgot to mention about Ajayi. Let's not forget the 3-game little streak he had there to inflate all of his stats. 200+. God, not going to lie, for DraftKings weeks, that was pretty helpful, but Okay, this is a tier again. Winner losing in the draft. Before I say it is the rookie tier, I need to slide in one more player there, in my opinion. Maybe two. Yeah, you know what? Even a third. I'm seeing a third now. So we're going to go the rookies. You got Fournette, McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, and the biggest ADP riser possibly we will ever see in Kareem Hunt. And the players I want to slide in there are Gurley, Lynch, and how about the Crow, Isaiah Crowell. Kenny, first give me your best rookie and then give me your best non-rookie out of that list.
With Spencer Ware gone, that Chiefs backfield is going to be pretty empty. So I mean that's my answer right there. And that Chiefs offense is proven to be mediocre over the years, but with a solid running game and a rookie in the backfield, I think they're going to be able to put up a serious amount of points this year. Can
I just gather this though? Can you see him doing better than Spencer Ware did last year, or? Because to me, they don't look much different. I know he's a rookie and he's got all this potential, but it's year one. You think he can beat Spencer Ware's numbers?
Yeah, I honestly think he can. He was one of the most talented backs coming out of the draft. Rare blend of size and speed. So I think he's going to be able to. He's a rookie. He's hungry. He wants to get snaps. He wants to keep the starting job. He doesn't want to give it back to Spencer Ware when he gets back. So he's going to be hungry. He's going to go out there and he's going to put up a ton of points. I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up double digits every week.
Yeah, it is hard to argue with your points, but I'm going to because I really just don't see him being the number one, and I really pull my hair deciding who's going to be better between these two. Think that will Christian. I see too much upside in that receiving game. I see Jonathan Stewart getting injured at one point, and if then he gets a 3-down back roll for 2 weeks. 2 weeks is all I ask. 2 weeks. They won't be stopping this man. I'm at least ballparking 600 yards receiving. So let's get that out of the way. 600 yards receiving. Most players don't get that. Like Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson were the only two to get that. But they're not going to be used like Christian McCaffrey will be used this year. I think he's going to average about 10 yards per catch. Should mix in a couple of touchdowns. And then running, the thing is, it is wide open from anywhere to 400 to maybe 900 yards on the ground because of Stewart.
Speaking though, right? So if Jonathan Stewart doesn't get injured, he's a secondary back the entire season.
I see that's where I'm going to have to disagree as well. I think he'll be the secondary backs week 1 to 6, week 1 to 8, but there's no way after they see what this man can do. He's so elusive, so quick. I honestly saw some tape today of his acceleration, and that guy, you do not want to give him a hole. So I'm just saying McCaffrey has, I say, the highest ceiling for sure, and quite a lower floor than, a rather high floor other than people are giving credit for. So if he gets that opportunity, though, watch out. He's got top 10 potential. And I'm just going to slide Dalvin Cook at number 2. Can you give me a quick number 2?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that one. Ever since Adrian Peterson has been gone, the Vikings running game has been how many backs? They had McKinnon. They had a couple guys.
Asiata.
Dalvin Cook's going to be he's their answer for that new Adrian Peterson. I'm not saying he's going to be like Adrian Peterson, but they are going to lean on him, especially without Teddy Bridgewater back. They need a strong run game if they're going to be successful.
Not scared of Lat Murray, the amazing, the one, the only, the greatest. Oakland Raiders. No, I'm not. I'm just going to stop there. He sucks. He's not.
Yeah, not worried about him at all. Getting older. They wouldn't have drafted Dalvin Cook if they weren't going to use him.
I honestly think that's a lot of reports are swirling around that fact that Lat Murray got signed before that draft, not knowing if you're the Minnesota Vikings that you can get a potential like Dalvin Cook to slip to the second round. I guarantee you that Murray signing didn't happen.
And they traded up for him. We can't forget that. They wouldn't have traded up for that guy if they didn't have a plan.
Okay. I don't have any doubt we're both going to say Fournette as that number 3 running back right after. And then I'm going to have to slide in Mixon, that number 4 running back out of that rookie trio plus 1, whatever you want to call them, the foursome. Just because Mixon don't get me wrong. He's got potential to be a great running back. It's just not going to be this year until I see Hill or Bernard shipped away, which should be Hill. Hint, Bengals fans, hint. But that's okay. Okay, out of this non-rookie portion, so who did I say? I said Gurley, Lynch, and the Crow. Bounce, yes, no?
I think so, honestly. Although I'm not taking him ahead of Marshawn Lynch this year.
Wow.
Marshawn Lynch, I mean, we can't forget who he was. He is older, but new team, and that Raiders O-line is for real. I think there's a lot of backs in the league that would love to be behind that O-line, especially with the capable quarterback beside him. I think Lynch is going to have a pretty big year, a lot bigger than most people think.
What I'm not understanding is the love for Lynch from I will say your average fantasy football player versus the near criticism from, the big players in the industry, which I'm going to have to disagree with them because I'm almost on your side here. I am going through all the possibilities in my head, and I don't see him getting less than 10 touchdowns. Maybe he doesn't crack that 1,000 yards rushing because, I don't know, he's a bit older and he hasn't played in a year. I get it. But, come on. This is Marshawn Lynch. We all remember the beast mode run. We all remember the capabilities he had in Seattle when I'm pretty sure he wasn't even a 3-down back. I'm pretty sure he had someone to rely on that third down. Don't get me wrong, Oakland, Jalen Richard, DeAndre Washington. Oh, no. But near the goal line, this guy's your guy. He's power runner. Like you alluded to, great O-line. Holy crap, is that scary to look against as a defensive lineman. But, yeah, I'm going to have to say Lynch is ahead of Gurley, barely. I don't see Todd Gurley having back-to-back bad seasons. I don't see Jared Goff having an awful season. It shouldn't be as bad as last year because that was atrocious to watch. Oh, I remember running into an LA Ram fan in the airport once, and he's wearing a Goff jersey. And I said, I hope you did not pay for that. And he goes, don't worry, I didn't. And that doesn't goes to show how much faith their own team has in him. Oh, anyway, God bless. God bless the LA Rams. Now they're joined by the Chargers. So in that group, we had Gurley, Lynch. Oh, and then the Crow. So you could actually, I might put Gurley and Lynch in the tier with the running backs. And then let's move on to quickly talk about Miller, the Crow, Hyde, probably Montgomery is where I will chop that off because then the next group it's a bit of your split backs / crowded running field, crowded backfield rather. So these are your RBs that are getting drafted 29th on. So you got Miller getting drafted right now at about 29th, Crowell at 30th, Hyde at 37th. So who do you got out of that threesome there?
I think Montgomery has the highest upside of all those guys.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Montgomery at 45.
I mean, he had a pretty good year last year as a wide receiver turned running back. And now that he's a full-time running back, he's their go-to guy. I think he's going to be honestly one of the biggest sleepers this year. A lot of people are going to be taking him.
Hot take.
I mean, I'd take him as early as the 5th round, honestly. Maybe even earlier than that. But honest to God, he's their number one guy right now, and that Packers offense, Aaron Rodgers, slinging it. Their defenses have to respect that. So I mean, you can't stack the box when you got Aaron Rodgers back there throwing balls.
Yeah, those are a lot of things I can't disagree with. But, Aaron Rodgers is back there. Therefore, Montgomery ain't running much, my friend. That's still a high-octane offense that revolves around the current mustache man of the NFL. By the way, have you seen that thing? It is.
It is. Wow! It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Yeah, some are saying, Mario/Wario-like. It's, wow, something else. Anyway, the mustache does mean more than business. But I'm going to have to disagree. I'm all over the Crow train. Call me weird for loving a Brown. I kind of alluded to it earlier in the show. That was what they call foreshadowing. Anyway, I'm aware it's the Browns, but he's going to have so much opportunity to run the ball because Duke Johnson is literally being used in the slot. Like, he's not even in the backfield anymore. So let's get that established. Second, their games are going to be closer, which means automatically more touches this year. He hasn't really had too much injury kind of plagued seasons. He's gotten injured in the past, but none have been significant. He still averaged 4.81 yards in 2016. Still got 40 targets, which isn't awful considering you have Duke Johnson in your offense. So, like I said, closer games means more opportunities to run. And as bad as Cleveland is, if they have a strength, it is their offensive line. Joe Thomas. Do we remember Joe Thomas? I almost became a Browns fan for Joe Thomas. So he's a Pro Bowl every year. They got Mac over there. They're just, I think they're destined for a better year. I'm not going to say 5-7 wins, but better year than normal. So I'm going to go Crow. You kind of convinced me on Montgomery because I just hate Miller. How much do you hate Lamar Miller?
I wouldn't draft him. Honestly, I wouldn't draft him at all. That Texans offense, have they even named a starting quarterback yet?
I applied last week, still waiting for the response on that, but I don't think they have.
Yeah, I mean, any offense that hasn't named a starting quarterback with, 4 or 5 days the season starts?
By the way, how excited are you for Thursday?
Man, already planning for it. I'm not excited to see wish the Falcons were playing Thursday, but oh well. Shit happens.
I can say I'm pretty thankful the Jets are not under the lights for game 1. Yeah, God bless the Jets. Be wary of an article coming to you soon from Coach's Corner on why the Jets are the best investment. You heard me, investment you can make in 2017. Kenny, where do you think I'm going with this?
I don't know. It's going to be a stretch. I'm going to be eagerly awaiting that one.
Yeah, it shall be interesting, but that's just a preview. So be ready for it. It will be a possible money-making read for you. Anyway, so where are we at now? We're already up to about the 50th overall pick in your draft, ADP-wise. Number 20. Well, I guess 19, since we already said Hunt, but Hunt's been flying up. I've heard him taken as early as 12th overall, which I think is a bit nuts. You agree that that's way, way too high, right?
Yeah, that is too high. He's a tough one because a lot of people are on that ship. So if you want him, you basically have to go that high. So you have to determine for me, I wouldn't take him 12th. I'd take him earliest, probably mid-second round, late second round. But 12th is a little bit too early for me.
I cannot say give me Kareem Hunt in the second round. I can't do that. There's too much, way, 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 way too much value in other players. I've been so far. I've been gunning for the early pick, top 3, and then pairing that in the late second round with Gronkowski, and then best available in the third. What do you think of that strategy there, by the way, quickly?
Gronkowski in the third.
It would be Gronkowski late second, so essentially 21st to 24th.
I don't know if he'd be around then, honestly. I mean, it's a good strategy if Gronk is around. If he's there that late, then yeah, that's something I'd recommend. But I mean, what's the chances of Gronk going that late?
I've had that happen. I'm only three drafts in, and I've had that happen twice. One I will say was with a crowd. Holy, I needed to bring this up. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Okay, so I just did a draft where kind of figuring out that there are people that do drafts without doing the research. And don't get me wrong, it's their own money that they're signing up for. So I never feel bad because it's as your duty as a drafter to know the most updated information you can to win your draft if that's what you're looking to do. But anyway, I'm going to name some names. You tell me what round you think he went in or what round you think he should be going in, and then I'll tell you what he went in. So first name, Matt Ryan.
Quarterbacks this year? Oof. 3.
He went QB1 in the second round.
Okay, I mean, it's not a. I mean, it's early, but I wouldn't for this year. I'm not taking quarterbacks before the third round at all. He is one of the top quarterbacks out there with Julio and Sanu and Freeman and everyone. But yeah, second round's too early for any quarterback.
Not only is it too early, but with all due respect to your great offense out there, I keep forgetting the Atlanta bias on this kid. Anyway, you cannot pick Matt Ryan QB1. You will not win any pool if that happens. If you pick the first quarterback being Matt Ryan, sorry, you just lost. Because Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are still there. We will talk about QBs later, but anyway, moving on to this next pick that another guy did in our draft. This was probably the highlight of the draft. Give me your round. What round does Jamaal Charles get taken?
Oh my god. Jamaal Charles. 6?
See, 6 is even... 6 is high. High aspirations for Jamaal Charles. So I like that you like Jamaal Charles still because we all remember him. Yeah, but C.J. Henderson is that lead back. But anyway, he went second round in a fantasy draft.
Oh my god. They watch football?
Broncos fan, had a calendar, so had to be somewhat of a fan. But anyway, thank you for bringing that up. Another couple things in that draft that got me cracking up were the Spencer Ware got drafted. DeAndre Hopkins got dropped the day after, and he picked up Julian Edelman.
That's after the injury or before?
You know what I'm going to say here, so after.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I see it. I'm pretty happy I played in this pool, but okay. Anyways, we got to keep going down the list here. So what do we see? We got Ingram, Abdullah, Tavon Coleman, your boy, Mike Gillislee. Is there anyone else you want me to put in this next tier?
No, I like those guys. I can talk about those guys.
I will say I will throw him in here just because it is a bit tough to talk about where you should and shouldn't go, and that's Doug Martin because that's suspension. I will put him in this conversation. So, Kenny, who do you take between Ingram, Abdullah, Coleman, Gillislee, Martin? Go.
As much as I want to say Ingram, the Saints just hate running backs, and they hate Ingram. I don't know why. He had a great year last year. Finally managed to get his first 1,000-yard season, and then they rewarded him by signing Adrian Peterson. Like, what are you doing? Don't get it. They have been running that running back by committee, the committee for how many years? I mean, Tim Hightower had a good year there last year, but Mark Ingram also had a good year. So it's like you can't take any running back out of the Saints backfield for me. But I mean, I think I'm going to go with Abdullah. This is the third year in a row now he's being considered as fantasy sleeper, and he's stayed on that sleeper list every single year. So I mean, this is the last year I'm putting any sort of investment into him.
You ever thought he might be asleep?
It seems like it, honestly. But he's fully healthy now. He got injured last year, if I'm not mistaken. But he's fully healthy, and I think he'll get the number one spot in that backfield. Theo Riddick might eat up some time, but I don't think it'll be much. We'll finally get to see Abdullah as the number one and healthy for the first time in a little while.
What's an interesting stat about him, although the sample size is a bit small, he averages 11.5 yards per catch when he makes a catch. And if you're going to give him a starting position, hoping to get, 12 to 16 touches per game, and you give him 3 of those being catches, he's already locked up 3.5 points. He could have an off day, run the ball only for 50 yards. Let's say even, 50 yards, and he gets his one above average catch. He's going to get you 8 points a week in a standard league, no doubt, which is pretty good. It's not awful. So I think he's got a high floor. I really do like Abdullah there, but in terms of who I'm drafting next out of that list, it's Dougie. Give me Doug Martin. Give me the 3-game suspension. I'll do everything I can to get Jaquiz. God, that man is so short. Oh, I love it.
Loved him in Atlanta.
Yeah, of course you did. But, if you can get both, obviously, like I just said in the draft situation, try and get Jaquiz. And whatever you do, I saw it in one draft. It wasn't the one I spoke about earlier, but might have been one I was watching. Anyway, Jaquiz went before Doug, and I think it had to be a misclick.
I don't know. I could make a stretch argument for Jaquiz over Doug Martin.
I'm going to have to just quit you on your stretch right there before we just go too in-depth about that. But anyway, Doug Martin is going to be the running back to one of the best offenses we see this year. I think a lot of people are saying it. Hop on that Tampa Bay bandwagon. They got Jameis. They got Deshaun Jackson. They got Mike Evans.
It's not real.
AFC South competitors really make him sour. That's okay. We will talk about that probably on our week 1 predictions, where I will talk him into picking Tampa Bay over Miami, because that's not going to be close.
Yeah, that won't take much convincing. But you'll never talk me into Tampa Bay over Atlanta.
I don't think I could make that argument, because I think Tampa Bay, is a worsened version of Atlanta. Let's look at some quick comparisons. You got Doug versus Freeman. You take Freeman. You take Coleman versus Jaquiz. You take Coleman. Are they still both pretty good? Yes. They got Mike Evans. They got Julio Jones. Mohamed Sanu, probably not as good as Deshaun. Hate to say that, but they have similar traits where I think passing the ball is their kind of biggest opportunity because of their powerhouse receiving corps. Although it's only Julio, but God bless him. He is a beast on and off the field. That guy is scary to watch. Anyway, so in this list, Doug Martin is the thought for me. Although he's missing his first 3 games, he is just a consistently good runner with a more open passing game in Tampa. This will just give him more room. So Doug Martin will excel very well in Tampa. That just rhymed. Didn't even mean to do that. But hey, sometimes it is the best when you do it mentally. Okay, that was a good try. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go Martin. I love Abdullah, so I will say Abdullah number 2. Ingram will be 3 just because I cannot gauge Mike Gillislee. He is literally Mr. Matchup as a running back because that's what New England does. They're a matchup team week in, week out. What do you see in your crystal ball over there?
Gillisley he's gonna take over Blunt's spot, honestly. And I think it's possible that he will become a very viable running back 2 even. If he gets those red zone touches like Blunt got, he'll be taking pictures with those Patriots there on Sundays quite a bit. So I could seriously see him being a very good pickup in the later rounds.
Yeah, definitely late round value with him. So he's going as of, I think I made this list Thursday. He's going as running back 25. So that's early round 6. I would say that is pretty good value there, although that's his projection. I just think that's a good spot. Any later, you have to pick him. You have to. Because then you're dipping in. I think we included Coleman in this tier, but I'm going to relegate him to this next tier, which is Coleman, Powell, Peterson, Legarrette, toss me the Blunt, and can I just say, I'm sorry to say this, but does he not have a criminal / alleged rape name in Paul Perkins?
That's golden. Yeah. No, Goodell should be on that.
Paul Perkins is on the loose in a near New York City laneway. Be careful, Paul Perkins. I don't think you should be careful of Paul Perkins this year if you are an opposing defense. By the way, he's average. He's average. He's on a great team, but honestly, he's not catching anything. Shane Vereen's going to be doing that. Orleans, or I call him Orleans Darkwa, something Darkwa. Anyway, not as good, clearly, since he lost the job to Perkins, but I don't see Perkins getting – there's no way he'll get the ball 20 times, even though he could be on a team that's winning. I have high aspirations for these Giants this year, but Paul Perkins is not that big of a deal for me. So in that list, probably split between Coleman and Blunt. I know Coleman's your guy in Atlanta, but Blunt will probably have more volume. There's no way he gets 18 touchdowns. If you want to hear a hot take, I don't think he'll get 6.
Really? Even if he's going to get the red zone touches. You think he's not going to get 6 touchdowns if he gets the ball on the 1 yard line 7 times this year?
I think the difficulty will be getting the ball to the 1 yard line. I love Carson Wentz, but honestly, Ertz and who's number one? Oh, Jeffrey. Jeffrey should be good, actually. But other than that, no more Matthews, no more slot guy. There's just not too many targets for Wentz to throw to. So I just don't know how well he'll be doing. Plus, just there's something about getting 18 touchdowns. There's going to be regression. There's no way he gets 10. My bold prediction is 6 or less, though. So I will say that, yeah, Coleman and Blunt are who I'd argue there. I can't say Bilal Powell. I'm a Jets fan. Whatever you do, stay away, stay away, stay away. If you have a metal pole with lightning coming at you, yeah, I want you to run like you have that metal pole right beside you from Jets players. So who would you take, I guess, from this? Oh, God, such an average list of players. Coleman, we'll say Blunt. You're going to make a case for Peterson?
No, not in the Saints backfield. I hate the Saints, and I also hate that Saints backfield. It's every single person that goes in there, they die or they get traded or they leave after. Anyone that has a remotely good season, I don't know why Ingram has stayed. The guy won a Heisman. Terrible now. Terrible. He's not a terrible back. He's got a terrible scheme around him. He doesn't run the ball. Drew Brees throws the ball 50 times a game. And then they sign Adrian Peterson, who's going to split carries at best. He's 32, off a knee injury. I wouldn't touch him at all, honestly.
I just saw a name that should have been included in this tier, and I think will actually win the tier. Please tell me you have as much love as I do for Frank the Tank Gore.
I don't know. The age is my issue with that one. How old is he now?
I think he just turned 32, 33, or it might be more than that. I'm thinking 33.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I'm taking LeGarrette Blunt over Frank Gore in that list, honestly. I think Blunt's going to get way more touchdowns than Gore. I think Gore will get more yards, but the touchdowns mean more in fantasy, right?
Arguably, yes, but he's going to have to... I don't know. I just see Gore having potential there. No Andrew Luck for how many weeks? Oh, my God. Is that ever a scary thing in Indy right now? The guy has yet to throw a ball in preseason practice. Thank God he got waived from that PUP list, or else that would have been scary. He had to miss the first 6 games. I don't know. I like Frank Gore. He still gets the volume. Last year, he touched the ball 300 times. It happened. Still got 8 touchdowns. 8 touchdowns. That's right. Frank Gore, old man. The opportunity should still be there. There's really no one that's scary in that backfield to get from him. I think it'll just be a kind of consistency thing with him, whether or not he can go back to those San Francisco days. But out of that list, if you haven't noticed yet, I don't really like drafting an RB2 on that team. For example, Tevin Coleman. He could be great skill-wise, but he just doesn't get the volume. And I'm all about volume when we come to fantasy football drafting.
He would be great if Freeman wasn't there, honestly. He's a number 1 running back. He is an RB1, but he's just not going to get that with Tevin or Devontae, huge contract Freeman there. But if the Falcons trade him, I don't think it'll be this year. But when his contract is up, he's not re-signing with the Falcons. There's not a chance. He's going to go to a team, and he's going to be a number 1 running back at another team. But if Coleman, or if I always get them mixed up, man. If Freeman gets injured earlier in the year, Coleman start asking for trades with that guy, with these guys that aren't necessarily caught up in the news. Second you see Freeman go down, request a trade with that Coleman guy.
That probably will be the play, definitely, because I would love me some Tevin Coleman by himself. I would love either of those running backs without the other, because they would both just... You could probably make a case both could go as the definite number 3, but until we see it, I guess we can't put him as 2 or 1 in terms of Bell, Johnson stuff behind them. But anyway, let's go to this next tier. Keep going down the line. Okay, this is an interesting bunch. Danny Woodhead, Robert Kelly, Terrence West. Oh, this name hurts me. Eddie Lacy. Oh.
I like Eddie Lacy there, honestly. He's had to lose weight to be on that team. Who have they announced a number 1 guy yet?
I don't think they have. It's still, in my eyes, Thomas Rawls, because he just has the knowledge of the playbook. He's kind of healthy now, and I know Lacey is getting paid for staying under a weight class. Like, Jesus Christ, it's not UFC, Eddie, wake up. But anyway.
Yeah, but Eddie Lacy is their Marshawn Lynch replacement, essentially. So if Thomas Rawls isn't Marshawn Lynch. If they want a guy that's like Marshawn Lynch, they're gonna lean on Eddie Lacy more. So if he ends up becoming the number 1 guy and he can kind of show us what he did in college and a little bit in the his rookie season there, then he's a viable running back too.
Yeah, where he's getting drafted is your late RB3. I could definitely see him being of running back 2 potential if Rawls goes down and Seattle is as good as I think they're going to be. Holy crap. That Sheldon Richardson acquisition as a Jets fan, it hurts. Don't get me wrong. I know you had to split them up eventually. Leonard Williams, Muhammad Wilkerson, and Sheldon Richardson could not be the trio of death on a D-line because there's too much talent there. You would have had to pay too many. But come on. Jermaine Kearse, guy makes one NFC championship catch to win the game, and all of a sudden he's Sheldon Richardson value? Are you kidding me? And I think we sent a higher draft pick back and forth. I think it was like a 4th to them and a 5th to us. Like, come on. Oh, those Jets. Like,
I don't want to. I'm not looking forward to the Falcons games against them.
no, yeah, Seahawks, I think, are destined for an NFC championship game at minimum, but we will talk about that later. In this list, so we had the duo that nobody wants in Baltimore, Woodhead and West. You have Robert Kelly. You might as well put P. Ryan in here because that's another scenario. I just don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I'm staying away from them, so that leaves us with your boy Eddie Lacy. Yeah, another crowded backfield. Again, these are 3 teams that have a crowded backfield. The next couple names on here are McFadden, Stewart, like we mentioned earlier, Rawls, Riddick. God, those are all crowded backfields. Like,
those are all guys that are good if the number 1 guy goes down. That's about it. I have trouble drafting these guys. Anywhere before the last round, honestly. They're backup running backs, so you only grab them if guys go down.
Yeah, it's right. They're going in about these running backs going anywhere from round about 8 to 10, which is, like I said, it gets a bit gooey. But you're hoping that one gets injured and everything works out. So, in terms of that argument, I will probably go. I'll probably go. If I'd got Doug Martin earlier, I'm going to take Jaquiz. If you are that Elliott guy, you take McFadden. After that, it's so tough. Oh my goodness. Because Terrence West should be that lead back in Baltimore. Woodhead's got some hammy problems. So I'll probably go Terrence West here. And then proceed to flip a coin between Eddie Lacy and Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, but if you took McCaffrey and you think McCaffrey's going to do better than Stewart, then I don't see value in Stewart, even at that round, honestly.
I would agree. He's going as the 98th overall, so what is that? About 9th round in a 12-team league. It's even a bit high, honestly, but anyways, the talent behind him is the reason why he's going that high. So let's move on to that. Quickly, we got Duke Johnson, Forte, Jamal Williams, and then, oh, God, crowded backfield. James White. Can we just give a quick shout-out to James White over there, Falcons fans? Like, how do you feel that a guy who just managed to only catch a ball destroy you in the most important game when needed?
I don't know. It's all in Kyle Shanahan. Not worried about it. Super Bowl hangover doesn't exist for the Falcons. Yeah, I don't know. Kyle Shanahan. You're going to have to ask him about that one.
So I'm assuming you're a bit happy that Kyle Shanahan is no longer a Falcon.
Yeah. Good riddance. I wish him nothing but failures in San Fran.
As he should receive. We forgot to mention Carlos Hyde up there. I'll just do a quick Carlos Hyde take. Honestly, very skilled player. It sucks that there's a perception going around the San Francisco staff does not like him. I think he's pretty good. I think he should get 250 touches if he stays healthy, and then maybe another 30 receiving. So the volume should be there. But dear Christ, does that San Francisco team look bad? Who's starting again? San Francisco? Hoyer?
Yeah, I don't even know. That that quarterback situation is almost as bad as the Texans. Yeah, but I mean, I like Hyde, honestly. Hyde had, what did he have? 4.6 yards per carry last year. If he even comes anywhere close to that and he gets a decent amount of attempts, then he's definitely, I like him better than a lot of the running backs in this at this tier.
No questions. He's does not to be deserved in this tier. This tier is god awful. Like, let's after a quick look, I'd probably put Duke Johnson, Forte, James White, Lat Murray, and then before these rookies, so that leaves us with Hill, Charles, Precise, Sproles, and Burkhead. Like, I just named 2 New England backs, and you could arguably put Lewis in there as well. So from our list of Johnson all the way down to Burkhead, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 running backs, and that will drive us almost to about round 13. So these are your sleepers. They are deeply sleeping in a den, waiting to be woken up by opportunity. Who do you take?
Do I have to take any of them?
You have to take one only. I will give you my one after.
I'm gonna take James White, honestly. That's I mean, New England backfield. It scares me, but you never knew it. You never know what Belichick's gonna do. But James White seems to be at least half emerging as maybe a number 1 running back, and you could even name a number 1 running back for New England ever. But yeah, out of that list of guys, I don't trust any of those guys. As James White seems to be the only one that's really could potentially be a number 1 running back right off the bat.
I'm going to have to say it is tough to argue with that. James White, most likely my pick as well. Close second and third will definitely go to Duke Johnson. The only problem, he's my number 2 because his catching prowess is there. Last year, he averaged just a hair under 10 yards per reception, got 50 catches, so he just got 500 yards right there. But the amount of touches on the ground, 73 last year, I don't even think he'll match that this year with Crowell having a larger role. So there's just, it's going to be tough to match those numbers. Like, he got 850 yards total, which isn't awful, to be honest, as someone this late. You'll be going at about 10th round with this guy. Started the 11th, maybe. So, Duke and Matt Forte, I know I told you not to go near anyone in a Jet uniform, but he's got to be the ideal running back for your number 1 pick overall you want this year. New York Jets franchise. He's getting old. He seems to be slowing down on the field. Well, Powell, isn't that great himself. Let's be honest. He's a guy that's been everywhere. I think he's only a year younger than Forte. I think people forget that a lot. These are 2 old men behind a horrendous offensive line. But nevertheless, Matt Forte touched the ball 240 times last year, nearly 250. Got it over that 1,000 yards. Somehow got into the end zone 8 times, but I don't know if the Jets are going to match that as a season total this year. Yeah, you guys are probably wondering, how the heck is this guy going to write an investment article on the Jets?
Are you taking Powell or Forte, given the choice?
I hate it when people ask me that because by ADP it says Powell. but I'm going to take Matt Forte because I think he might actually do better. I don't see Powell getting the number one touches. Forte is listed as that number one guy right now, so Forte is my guy. So he'd be third in that ever so sleepy tier we just mentioned. And then we go into this rookie cluster. Late, these are your, like, you thought we were talking sleepers. These are your guys that 15th pick or dynasty picks that you will do. You maybe touch these guys, and that's Jonathan Williams, Donta Foreman, Chris Carson, Joe Williams. Marlon Mack should be in there just in case if Frank the Tank Gore does go down. And it's James Conner. Have you read much or seen much of James Conner? That guy looks decent. Looks pretty darn decent to me.
Behind Bell, though, right?
Very, very much behind Bell. So don't get me wrong. This year, don't go near him because he's probably even behind D'Angelo Williams. But the future looks bright for the Le'Veon Bell leave that we are all highly anticipating will happen because that will be an interesting sweepstakes as to who will get him. I don't see him staying in Pittsburgh after this year. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Just he struggled signing a contract this year, right? And they just recently did it, so they're gonna struggle to sign him, and they franchise tagged him, right? So that doesn't usually leave a great taste in players' mouths. So yeah, I think he's gone too.
Captain Kirk Cousins, how many years in a row? 2 or 3. So that's an ugly situation in Washington. But out of this list, you got a gun to my head. I have to take one that will have any fantasy relevance this year. Jonathan Williams could be the best handcuff to LaShawn McCoy. You can make that argument about Donta Foreman as well. I think Donta Foreman has more skill. And then after that, Joe Williams, probably. So I'd probably go Williams, Foreman, because of the injury risks to the Williams lead back roles. But do you have anything to say on these running backs? Because I know there's not much. Most of them are rookies except for Mack, I believe. So,
a lot of them, yeah, like you said, they're handcuffs. Joe Williams might be a good idea because he could take some snaps from Carlos Hyde. We don't know that yet. So, I mean, Shanahan ran a 2-back offense in Atlanta, so I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe incorporated Joe Williams beside Carlos Hyde. So that he could kind of bump his stock up a little bit. But didn't Foreman have something to do? Didn't he get arrested or something? Is there a suspension there?
I don't think it ever went to a suspension. If it did, that should tell you my fantasy relevance of Donta Foreman.
Right. So either way, there's off the field issues that could pop up, so stay away from him. And again, the Texans, right?
Those Texans. God, I will say this quick shout out and thank you to all those people that are helping the city of Houston, although they are our brothers, the United States, since we are a couple Canadians just doing this. We do wish nothing for the best of that city of Houston in the recovery. Shout out to JJ Watt with that. Ever so thankful charity fund he's been having going for the city. Are able to play in the city of Houston when it comes time. The Stros have already played a game, so things appear to be getting better. But wow, I am thankful not to live down south in the United States because this is happening too much. Katrina brought back flashbacks when we heard of this Harvey character. So just wanted to say that for Houston. Then we will end this broadcast with this. This is anywhere from draft pick 200 on. You should consider these. So what is that? Your literal last round of drafting? Just tell me one name only. Bernard, DeAndre Washington, Smallwood, Kamara. Yeah, I know you love that New Orleans backfield. Dion Lewis, Jalen Richard, Henderson and Booker in Denver, or PPR specialist Charles Sims. So Bernard was that first one, Sims being the last. Give me a name.
Booker, I think, has got the best shot to get at least some carries this year. He's behind Anderson, correct?
I would slot him in as number 3 behind Charles, but you could make an argument for 2A, 2B, but I think Anderson's that clear RB1.
He's the rookie too, so I mean he's got some upside. Out of that list, yeah. I mean I don't want to pick any of them, but yeah, Booker's my name.
Yeah, Booker, I don't think played that much last year. I think he got a couple snaps when that whole backfield kind of came crashing down, but he's a guy that relies on opportunity, and he currently doesn't have it. So out of that list, for me, it's Bernard and Smallwood. Bernard strictly for catch passing. Did I just say catch passing? Yeah, I did. Pass catching. Anyway. It's the new NFL. QBs, right? No running. Anyway, Bernard probably going to get 400 yards through the air. I don't think you'll have, if at all, any rushes this year. Obviously, you'll probably get something like 40 rushes for the year, but nothing more. And then Wendell Smallwood to kind of go on the whole don't draft Blunt train. This guy doesn't look bad. I think if Blunt gets injured, he will take over the number 1 role. Sproles has got that out of the backfield catching ability, so that's good and dandy. He probably won't take that over. But Wendell Smallwood is a back that I think, in Philly anyway, could be an RB1. So I don't mind taking a sleeper pick on him. Dion Lewis, I don't know. That's
Draw names of a hat for that New England backfield. 1 in 3 chance of getting it.
1 in 3 doesn't sound too bad for most bets that I do make. So, anyways, that's a topic for a later day. Okay, that's basically all the running backs that we thought were relevant. If you wish we talked about more, maybe tweet us some questions. Coach's Corner, who you think you like better. Follow us on Facebook for more podcasts and articles to come. As the NFL season approaches, we will be having 2 a week. So I don't want to say bi-weekly. Bi-weekly is every 2 weeks. So every week, 2 podcasts will be coming your way. 1 to be going over your predictions game by game as to who you should pick, as well as some fantasy relevant players within those games, as well as DraftKings. How excited are you for week 1 DraftKings, Kenny? Tell me, do you have at all a player in mind that is a must-have?
I haven't looked into it, honestly. The bank account's open for DraftKings, though, but I'm waiting until training or preseason's over now so I can finally take a look at all the players there, and I'm waiting for Zeke. I'm waiting for that ruling, so he'll probably be a hefty salary, though, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's always good to wait for that first week of practices that's not preseason related, so you actually have a good grasp on the starting lineups, which is key for DraftKings. I haven't looked all that much into it, but I'm salivating at Jameis Winston playing that Miami defense, and I don't think he'll be too expensive, so he'll probably be my choice as at least a cash game quarterback, and we will talk about GPP teams and such. Anyways, that does it. Your running back review with Coach's Corner. Stay tuned this week for more podcasts, and thanks for tuning in.
Till next time.
We bid you adieu. We are not French, so don't ask us questions in French. Okay. Later.
We're gonna skate to one song only.
Yeah, shit, motherfuckers wanna find me.